everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, True Blue Faith. My name is Anna and I am so excited that you're here. If you are new to my channel, welcome. And if you've been following along for a little bit, this video probably looks a little different and I'll tell you why. But first, please make sure to hit subscribe so that you are notified when a new video is released. My goal through True Blue Faith is to create a safe and encouraging place for Christians to explore their faith. So I have this channel, a blog, an Instagram page, and a Pinterest account. So there are so many ways to get connected. But on YouTube, up to this point, I've only been posting weekly devotionals. So this video is the first video of stepping into more of that Christian lifestyle space. Today, in this first video, we are going to talk about things that you can incorporate into your daily life that don't take that much effort, that don't really require a change of your schedule, just simple things that you can add into your life that will help you grow in your faith. Before I share these recommendations, I just want to preface that I believe that it is so important to be mindful of what you are feeding your heart and what you are feeding your mind and your soul through the things that you are watching and that you are listening to. Okay, so I am going to share 5 ways that you can grow in your faith just by adding these simple things into your daily routines. Over time, I've added these things into my routine, and these small changes have been so fruitful. Everything that I talk about today will be linked below in the show notes, so if you see something that catches your eye and you want to check it out, go ahead and look for the link in the show notes. So the first recommendation is to grab your phone and open up your podcast app. Podcasts are great to have on in the background while you are doing things like chores around your house, getting ready for the day, or driving to work. However, before you select just any podcast to listen to, I want to encourage you to listen to a Christian-based podcast. This is so even if you aren't paying attention to what is being said, you are still subconsciously feeding your mind and your heart with good stuff. I use Castbox for my podcast app, so if my interface looks a little differently than yours, that's probably why. A few of my favorite podcasts are the Whoa That's Good podcast with Sadie Robertson Huff, Pastor Mike Drop with Mike Householder, and the Naked Marriage podcast. Side note on the Naked Marriage podcast, I am not married yet, but since I grew up and my parents were divorced, this podcast just is a great learning tool for me to get a glimpse of what a Christian marriage will look like, what it's like to raise kids. So instead of going off unrealistic expectations that I see in movies and stuff, I'm getting realistic expectations and also great tips on how to form a Christian relationship. But back to the other podcasts, all these podcasts are great things to have going on in the background because they are all Christian-based. They're fun to listen to. They're not boring. The people have energetic voices. And ultimately, I'm filling my mind with God-centered things. When I listen to a podcast that just makes me feel really good, it really changes my attitude throughout the day. And sometimes there are podcasts that speak to you in the exact season of life that you are in, and they just provide such wisdom and guidance for whatever you're going through. So recommendation number 1 is to listen to Christian-based podcasts. My second recommendation is to grab a book and read. Yes, as Christians, we are reading our Bibles and we're getting in the Word, but there are also so many other great materials and books out there that can help us grow in our faith. Every night before I go to bed, I read a fun book or a me book. So this isn't reading my Bible, this isn't reading a book for school, this is reading a book that I selected that interested me. Sometimes it's in like the self-help genre and other times they're fiction. For books in that self-help genre or books that are really going to like point me down the path of how to grow closer to God and help me in my faith journey, I like reading Beth Moore and Jenny Allen. Those are my favorite 2 authors. For fun fiction books, I read a lot by Karen Kingsbury, and I'm actually reading this book right now by Francine Rivers. It's called Redeeming Love. When I finish it, I will do a book review video on it, so stay tuned for that. But those are just examples of other great authors out there that you can be feeding your mind with good stuff that is also interesting and fun to read that isn't necessarily the Bible. Okay, the third thing that you can incorporate into your life today so that you can grow in your faith is probably something that you already do, but it is turn on Netflix. Netflix is awesome, and honestly, at the end of the day, it's a great way to unwind and just kind of be a couch potato and relax. Netflix has so many great movies and series on it, but some of them aren't the most healthiest for our hearts and our minds. So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you can't watch things on Netflix, but I do want to encourage you to search in your heart and see kind of like what's stirring and what's going on with your heart and your mind when you watch certain things. One of my favorite things on Netflix is The Story of God by National Geographic. It's a series with Morgan Freeman. The narration is really good, the images and videos are beautiful. It's just a really cool series that's really educational. Another thing that I've heard is really good that you can watch, it's not on Netflix, but it is on YouTube, but it's called The Chosen. I personally have not watched it yet. It's on my to-do list, but I've heard that it is so good from some resources that I trust and some of my friends. So if you want to check that out, that is another great option. The fourth thing that you can incorporate into your daily life is to go to YouTube. You are already here, so that's great, but there are so many people on YouTube who are creating content so that they can walk alongside of you in your faith journey. If you're looking for some Christian YouTubers, you can check out my channel to see who I am subscribed to, and I'm going to recommend a few right here. The first one that I am going to recommend is the East Family with Sean Johnson and Andrew East. Sean Johnson is a former Olympic gold medalist in gymnastics, and Andrew East is a former NFL football player, and they just provide content that is family friendly, it's funny, it's interesting, and they just open up about their lives, including like the challenges that they face, and also they share their victories with their YouTube community. The next one is Coffee and Bible Time. If you want a glimpse of how to grow in your faith when it comes to reading your Bible, they have a lot of great material on there of ways to Bible journal and their different techniques that they use to grow closer to God. And the third one that I am going to recommend was actually started with the coronavirus pandemic when people are in quarantine, and it's Some Good News. It's not necessarily like a Christian channel, but it is an uplifting channel with videos that just make your heart happy. So yes, I would definitely recommend checking those out. The final recommendation that I have is to get on your phone. 99.99999% of us already do this so much all of the time. During this quarantine, my screen time numbers have been alarming. I've been spending so much time on my phone, whether it was through social media or connecting with friends. One thing that I see every time I open and I close my phone is my screensaver. So my last thing that is so easy, but also will help you grow in your faith, is to change your screensaver to something that points you back to God. I personally love screensavers from Sid Moko. She is a local artist here in Iowa, and every Sunday she posts screensavers that you can just screenshot and use for your phone. You can also create your own screensavers with words of encouragement or Bible verses on apps like Canva, or you can even do it right from your Bible app. So to wrap up, I have provided you with 5 actionable steps that you can incorporate into your life today without really having to change your routine that will help you grow in your faith. I really hope that you will try at least 1 or 2 of these out. I will link all the resources in the show notes below, so make sure to check them out. As I said in the beginning, this is the first of many Christian lifestyle videos to come, and I am so excited. I will be posting my Christian lifestyle videos every other Friday, along with my weekly devotionals, which are posted every Wednesday. If you liked today's video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. If you have a prayer request, follow the Prayer Warriors link in the show notes. I would love to be praying for you. And before you head out, please make sure to hit subscribe. That is all I have today, so thanks for watching. God bless.